Hey! Good evening. Nice to be back. Hey, I want to start off by showing you a new app I have. I would like you to have all this. I would like you to download this app to your phones. Here's how this works. This app is called This Comedian Sucks. And here's how it works. You listen to me tell my jokes, do my routine, and afterwards, if you think that I sucked, you press the sucks button. What that does, it goes to Facebook, and it finds all my upcoming events, and it sends a message to every person who's going to attend those events that says, this comedian sucks. Then it goes to Twitter and sends a tweet with hashtag this comedian sucks, which includes my latest photo from Instagram and my current location from Google Maps so that anyone who wants to can find me and kick my unfunny ass. That's the low-tech part of this. All right, now, if you think that I did not suck, then you press the does not suck button. Does not suck. And what that does is send a very pleasant 30-second vibration to my phone, which has been very strategically placed. All right, and speaking of phones and sucking, I have a confession to make. Here's my confession. I suck at texting. I'm terrible at texting. I hate it. It pisses me off. Here's the problem with texting for me. Those little buttons are getting smaller and smaller. My fingers are getting bigger and bigger. So I can't do it. I'm really lousy at it. And I want to show you a typical situation here when I try to text. I want to send a very simple text that says, hi honey, I'm working late. All right, that sounds not so bad, right? I can't do it. I can't do that at all. Watch what happens when I try to type in a very simple message like that. I start to use my thumbs and my fingers, and here's what I get. I mistyped. Instead of H-O-N, I typed in H-I-N, and then this magical little helper thing called autocorrect comes along and says, well, maybe you didn't really mean to say H-I-N, it's H-I-M. So here's my choice. Now I can send hi hiney instead of hi honey, or I can say hi him, which is what autocorrect wants me to do. Neither one of those is going to help me out in this situation. So I got to do the backspace and try again. Now, here's what I have. I typed in my O correctly, but now this automatic helper autocorrect thing thinks I want to say hi, 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 hi. That's not the message I want to send. So at this point, I'm very upset, and what I really want to do is just stop texting. So I hit the send button, and here's what happens. Now I'm in trouble because I need to convince my honey that I didn't mean to send her a message that says, hi, ho. What I really meant was, hi, ho, hi, ho. That's tough to do. I do the double thumb things, which gives me thumbal tunnel syndrome. I try the finger thing, that doesn't work. Here's a couple of other texting skills that you need to have these days if you want to survive in the high-tech world that we live in. Here's one that all students and all employees have learned. It's called texting while pretending you're not. This is one you need to do. And if you absolutely must text while you're driving, here's a way to do that. Tongue texting. This not only keeps you in communication, it's very legal, and it also gives you very good exercise. That'll come in handy later. All right, so texting, as far as I'm concerned, technology disaster. Let's talk about another technology disaster that we need to deal with. Facebooking while married. Now, I think you know Facebook and marriage do not mix. And you married people, I'm talking to you. What are you doing on Facebook anyway? You're supposed to be spending all your spare time with your family, right? But that's not what's happening. Here's what's more likely happening. While your spouse is dreaming away, having sweet dreams about you, what you're doing, you're on Facebook looking up your high school honeys and trying to relive some old times, right? And then you start to drop a few hints about how miserable and lonely your life is right now. Eventually your spouse will wake up and get on Facebook himself or herself and try and send a similar message. And then what we have is the Facebook war of words, where the spouses try to see who can come up with the nastiest word to call each other, which they go back and forth with until they finally come up with one word that they can all agree on. Now, back in the old days, we did this behind closed doors, but today, you do this in front of all 1,000 of your Facebook friends who get out the popcorn and the drinks and the cheering section and watch the big show. Facebooking while married, don't try this at home. All right, let's talk about the future. There's a couple things coming down the road here with technology that we're going to have to learn about. Google Glass. Anyone know about Google Glass? It's on its way. It's actually here. What Google Glass is, these little glasses that you put on, you can throw away your phone, you can throw away your computer, you don't need any of that stuff. All the sights and sounds of the internet are delivered directly to your eyes and ears. Sounds nice, huh? But, like with any new technology, someone's going to misuse it, right? Now this doesn't look too bad, right? But what about this? You want to see this at the gym or anyplace else? This guy's a real glass hole. And it's not only the humans that are using Google Glass, the undead are also getting into the act. This may be the last sight you ever see. Well, if you don't like the idea of Google Glass because you think it might mess up your hair or get distracting, how about skull implants? Why don't we deliver the sights and the sounds of the internet directly to your brain? Huh? You heard of head banging? This is called brain banging. Brain banging here. And if the thought of this keeps you up at night, it's okay because you're up at 3 a.m. to check your Facebook anyway, aren't you? Well, speaking of which, I haven't been online in about 10 minutes, so it's about time for me to leave. I'm not going to do any brain banging, but I am going to do some high-tech head banging when I get home, like I do every night, which looks like this. I'm John Montgomery. Hope you enjoy the rest of the show.